if you're struggling with breakage, trust me, I've been there, and there was a time my hair would actually just break every single time I washed it. So I was able to find something that worked for me. I've been trying so many things, and it didn't work actually. And I tried this one thing I'm going to telling you, and it actually worked for me, and a few other things I'm going to be telling you that really helped to me to like stop breakage on my hair and for me to reach my length growth. So if you're interested, keep watching this video. This one thing helps in length retention. Like every single month, I would just be seeing difference in my hair, and I was actually able to retain length and growing my hair and actually reduce breakage. If you're struggling with breakage, this is a video for you. You don't want to skip, so keep watching this video. I'll be giving information and tips that you would actually see difference in your hair. So the one thing I started focusing on was my ends. I would always focus on my scalp before, but this time around I started focusing on my ends. And how I was able to actually achieve this was by rubbing oils and creams to help grow my hair. But honestly speaking, if your hair is growing and your hair is breaking, you're going to see that for a fact that you need to focus on your ends. So I did some research, and I had to find out what actually would stop my breakage, and I found a lot of things on the internet. I did my research and it pointed to my ends. So one thing I would say is that you have to prevent split ends. You have to be trimming your hair, let's say once every year. When your hair is dry and it's very brittle, you tend to have split ends, and it can cause your hair to actually break, especially when you leave your split ends and they run through the length of your hair, guys. Like it's impossible for your split ends to actually get to the length of your hair, which is really bad, and it can cause stagnant growth, and you see excessive breakage, and you see some people with their hair just falling off from their head. This is what causes it. So yeah, so one thing I would say is split ends, you need to focus more on your ends. And once I started focusing on my end, I started seeing results. So I'm going to be sharing with you one thing, and the other thing that I actually did was focusing on my ends. And like I said before, so how I did that was mainly by moisturizing my hair. Like literally, you find, if when it comes to preventing split ends, you have to put moisture on your hair. Like moisture and split ends, they don't go together. So you putting moisture in your hair, it actually helps stop split ends. And focusing on moisture is very important. Like I always say in my videos, your hair thrives better with moisture, and it's very good. So I started using aloe vera. I found out that aloe vera is actually very good form of moisture. And guys, when I say the curl patterns of my hair actually changed, like the curls on my hair was really coiling. Like I have a video on my channel where I talked about how to use aloe vera for deep conditioning, like moisturizing your hair. You can always check that out. I have done a lot of video about aloe vera, the benefits, how it soothes your hair, it gives your hair that maximum moisture which it needs. So it's important that you actually use this on your hair. You can use that in leave-in conditioner, you can use it as a max. So yeah, it depends on you. So how I do it is that my routine, I always keep my hair for, let's say, 2 months. We do a 2-month challenge here. So I always do my routine by washing my hair like every Tuesdays and Saturdays, so that it doesn't get dry and brittle. So it's important that you keep up with your routine. It's important, even if you're in a protective hairstyle, make sure you're actually doing your routine. So that's one way in which I was able to prevent split ends. So yeah, this is me basically applying the aloe vera to my hair, which I talked about. It's important you do this. So most times when I do this like a day to my wash day, because I'm not really a fan of the smell of aloe vera, but it actually has a lot of benefits. So I just keep it for like say 1 day, and then I wash it off. So yeah, you have to do your own research and know what actually works for you. For me, that has actually worked for me, and yeah, I've seen a lot of growth in my hair. So yeah, it's important that you find products that actually work for your hair. It's not every product you see out there that actually be good for your hair. It's one thing to buy expensive products, another thing for that expensive product to actually work in your hair. So you have to be consistent with your routine. It's one thing, that's why I say it's important that you buy products and you have to actually use it. It's not for it to be on your shelf and you not using it is doing more harm than good to your hair. So it's important that you use those products on your hair. Another thing is for you to know your hair porosity. So I have a video where I talked about how to know your hair porosity. So there are 2 types of hair porosity. We have the low porosity and the high porosity. So ways you can know if your hair is actually a high porosity hair or a low porosity hair is by taking one strand of your hair, like without you putting all your creams and oil. Just take some strands of your hair and then put it in water. So if it floats, that means it's high porosity hair, which means it doesn't absorb water better. like your hair doesn't retain water, but if it sinks, that means your hair actually absorbs water, which means your hair is low porosity hair. So that's one way in which you can actually know your hair porosity. So once you've known your hair porosity, it's good for you to know the best LOC method to use. For me, I use the LOC method, which is cream, oils, and conditioner. So I have high porosity hair. I've noticed that me using the LOC method has done lots of good to my hair. So my hair doesn't retain moisture. So me using the LOC method, which is liquid, first of all, I pour water on my hair, and then I go in my cream. I use the shea butter. Shea butter is an African cream. It's a very thick butter. It seals in moisture for days. So I've noticed that anytime I use my shea butter, it can keep moisture for, let's say, 3 days straight, and my hair will still be maintaining that moisture. I've noticed it, like, literally. So yeah, that's one thing I've done. And then I said LOC, that's cream, liquid cream, and oil. So the oil I use is the Jamaican castor oil. So for me, the Jamaican castor oil is also a very thick oil too. It helps to grow your edges if you're trying to grow out your edges. If you're trying to get thicker hair, you're trying to seal in moisture, guys, it seals in moisture to the T. So yeah, and one thing you do is that when I'm applying the shea butter, I don't apply it to the scalp of my hair. I apply it just to the length of my hair, so that I don't have build up on my hair, which can cause stunted growth. So you putting too much oils on your hair can actually cause your hair to, like, the new growth to not come out. So it's important that you just apply it to the ends of your hair, the length of your hair. So yeah, it's important. So the first thing in your hair breakage, once I was able to do that, I started seeing a lot of changes in my hair. Like, my hair breakage actually reduced when I started doing this LOC method, doing my routine. And I would say moisture is very key, especially if you have 4C natural hair. You're a Nigerian and your hair is 4C and your hair is very thick. You definitely need a good LOC method and moisture. Your hair thrives better as with moisture. Like I always say in my videos, just take your hair as a plant. You know how plants thrive better when there's moisture. Your hair is a plant, so you need to water it. And cases where you have like high porosity hair, you need to seal in that moisture so it doesn't evaporate into thin air. So yeah, it's important you do this. So once I started doing this, I noticed that my split end actually reduced. Another thing I started doing is trimming my hair. So for me, trimming my hair, the first time I heard about trimming, I was like, is that a thing? Like, how will I grow my hair and actually want to trim it out? So I noticed that actually trimming your hair makes your hair grow longer. I don't know if you've noticed it. So people that have done this on your hair, let me know. So I noticed that trimming my hair actually made my hair grow longer because I'm removing the dead ends and allowing my hair to thrive better. So definitely my hair is going to grow. So yeah, don't hold on to those dead ends. Cut it off. Okay. So yeah, it's important to do this. For me, I do it once a year. Some people do it twice a year. For me, I do it once a year because I love my hair and I like growth. So yeah, I do mine once a year. So another thing you can also do is the LOC method, which I mentioned. It helps your moisture to last longer. It's important to use shea butter, like I mentioned. It's a very thick oil. It seals in moisture, and don't apply it to the scalp of your hair because it can cause build up. So yeah, one thing I would always say is your detangling process. So it's important that when you're sealing in that moisture, you're detangling your hair very well, because it's one thing to be doing your routine, another thing for your hair to, like, that routine, you're actually removing all your hair. So I would always say your fingers are the best detangling. I know there are so many detangling brushes out there, but for me, my hands, they do the job, because you can never go wrong using your hands, because with your hands you can feel all the knots, you can feel where the tangles are, and you can easily remove it. So yeah, when I do this routine, I always make sure I put in some water, I've put in some oil, so there's a good slip around my hair, so it's not dry and thirsty and very, I don't know. You know, when your hair is dry, you can't easily use your hands to pass through it, but when it's wet with if a good form of oil, you can easily pass through your hair. So it's important you do this in your routine. So yeah, this is me basically just applying the aloe vera, like I said. So in this process, I've told you that I'm going to be washing my hair the next day, so I'm just applying to the scalp of my hair, so that product can actually work on my hair. So yeah, always make sure I have, like I said, slip on my hair when I'm actually detangling my hair, so it makes everything easier. And yeah, it's very important that when you detangle your hair, it reduces breakage, because obviously your hair is wet, and tangles cannot be there. It's mostly when your hair is dry. That's where you can see a lot of knots, a lot of tangles. So yeah, your hair tries better when it's wet. So anytime you want to touch your hair, always make sure you add some water, because dry hair breaks. You just put in your hair that dry hair breaks. So you putting water on your hair makes it easier for your hair to actually grow, and actually for you to be able to like manipulate it and detangle it. So it's important to do that. I would say natural hair, our curl patterns are different. You experience tangles, you experience knots, and the best detangler can you can always get is your hands. So yeah, it helps to reduce breakage, but if you use the tangling brush, it's also okay, but make sure you're doing it the right way, because you can just yank off your hair and cause more friction and tension on your scalp, which can equate to breakage in your hair. So yeah, it's important that you do this, especially if you're trying to stop breakage. um yeah, it can cost you even hair if you always cut your hair. Like, yeah, your tangling process is very important. So yeah, another way in which you can actually reduce split ends is by trimming your hair. So yeah, I started trimming my hair last year. That's 2024. So last year I trimmed my hair only once, and that was the beginning of the year. Let's say January, February, around that period. And when I saw my hair, like the amount of split ends I have, guys, I was so scared, because I'm like, oh my god, all my growths, I'm removing it, and it's very scary. So there are different ways in which you can actually trim your hair. So there's the dry method, where you just allow your hair dried, you drag it, and anywhere you see like split ends, you cut it off. And there's also the wet method, where you actually put in some moisture, your creams, your oils, and then you drag your hair out, and then anywhere you notice split ends, you cut it off, like you cut it off. And there's also another method where you actually twist your hair, and then the ends of the hair you just cut it, you know. So yeah, those are the methods in which you do. For me, I did the wet method, where I actually put water, my oils, and then drag my hair out. Where I noticed there were split ends, I cut it off. So it's important that you can also go to a salon to do it. But for me, my sister helps me to do mine. I did mine at home. But yeah, if you don't have anybody to help you out, you can always like go to the salon to get professional help. It's important that you don't do this by yourself, especially if you're a beginner at this. So yeah. So that's going to be all I'm going to be talking about today. I hope you've learned something new about hair breakage and how to take care of your hair. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.